Roy Charles Fink was born June 7, 1930. He was the third child of Frederick and Mildred Fink. He came home to join 10-year-old brother Chester and 6-year-old sister June. Betty Jane followed 2 years later, and the family lived on Townsend Street in Buffalo, New York. Tragedy struck the house when Roy was just 10 years old. His father was stricken with tuberculosis and sent to the treatment center in Perrysburg, New York. It was thought at the time that high altitude and open air was good for the disease. His family would visit him there, and sadly he succumbed to this disease in 1942. 1 year later, his wife Mildred also died of this. This epidemic was responsible for 1/4 of all deaths and had prompted Buffalo Mayor J.N. Adams to commission the sanitarium for quarantine and treatment. Oldest son Chester joined the Army. World War II was on, and he shipped off to Italy and returned home safely. Roy's older sister June became mother of the house to 12-year-old Roy and sister Betty Jean. Roy Fink graduated from Fosdick Maston Park High School, now City Honors, and joined the Army, leaving Buffalo in 1950. He was 19 years old. He returned to Buffalo briefly before deploying. It was the last time he would be seen by his loved ones. On December 2, 1950, in Hudong-Ni, Corporal Fink was part of the first wave of infantry with Regimental Combat Team 31, 2,400 U.S. soldiers tasked in the chosen reservoir, with temperatures plunging to minus 30 degrees and heavy snow. During the night, thousands of Chinese had infiltrated, flooding over all 4 sides of the mountain, overwhelming U.S. troops. Regimental Combat Team 31 was the largest American unit to be destroyed. Over 1,500 wounded or evacuated, 1,000 killed or captured, some frozen in their foxholes, earning the survivors of this battle the title, the Frozen Chosen. 33,000 Americans would lose their life during the Korean War. Corporal Roy Fink was never found. For his siblings, it was a devastating loss. They would attend Memorial Day parades without the answers as to what happened to their brother. For Corporal Fink's family, it would take 66 years for their loved one to return home. His remains were accounted for September 23, 2016. It was a clear day, November 2, 2017, when Corporal Roy Charles Fink finally made his way home. With full military reception at the Buffalo airport and escort by the Patriot Guard riders, he was laid to rest at Forest Lawn Cemetery. Relative Cliff Anderson, also a veteran of the U.S. Army, serving from 1970 to 72, said, "There is a silent beauty in this whole thing. My cousin Roy Fink has been found, and he's coming home. It is sad and bittersweet that he had to die a young man, without ever living a full life, with a wife and children. But it is for his ultimate sacrifice that we now have our freedom. Never give up hope and the power of prayer. 66 years later, our loved one has been found." Corporal Roy Charles Fink, American hero.